You know, there's not much in the National Hockey League that makes me any more nervous than goaltenders. They are so up and down. They are easily the most impactful players on a team, but they're also the most volatile. And at the end of the day, the National Hockey League has tried to increase scoring in the National Hockey League. And when you do that, it's just going to, they are trying essentially to make goaltenders less impactful if you're increasing scoring. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there's almost no way to do that because goalies are the last line of defense. And also, when you have a cup contending team, the hardest thing to find is a goalie, right? There's no doubt about it. Like, do you think that the Florida Panthers would have won the cup without Bobrovsky? I don't think so. I think that people really don't give that guy nearly enough credit. You know, when the Florida Panthers signed that contract, I was like, woof, I'm not sure if I like that, but he's proven me wrong later in his career, and as he ages, he's been even better. So it's such a pivotal position, but it's also so hard to analyze. But guys, welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you could make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so all of your support up to this point is just so greatly appreciated, guys. Thank you so much. But we are going to jump right into it now. We have some really interesting rumors about Dustin Wolf. Now, here's the thing. I've been impressed with Dustin Wolf, but we don't have a huge sample size of this guy's career. But he is a very young, very promising goalie. I mean, at the end of the day, the Calgary Flames don't even score that much. And the reason that they were able to remain that competitive is because Dustin Wolf held them in a lot of games and was just very impressive with them. And here we have a very interesting quote. Dustin Wolf's full NHL season was quite an impactful one. He became a full-fledged starter in the second half of the year and played an instrumental role in Calgary's last season's playoff push, one that ultimately came up just short. He's entering the final season of his bridge contract, but the Flames have clearly seen enough to want to lock him up long-term. Wolf said Postmedia's Wes Gilbertson that talks on the front are underway, close quote. So from this quote right here, when they say long term, that makes me a little bit squeamish. I'm like, what do they mean by long term? Like, for me, I would try to keep it 5 years or under, right? 5 years or under would be fine for me. I would get a little bit worried if it was longer than that because he just doesn't have that many games played, right? Like, I would like him to almost start another season and see if he can replicate what he did in his first season. I mean, he is a little bit of an undersized goalie at 6 foot. He has about 71 games played in the NHL. That's a decent sample size, but it's not spectacular. We have another interesting quote here. They're working. That's about all I can really tell you. There's talks, but nothing really confirmed yet. I'd love to stay here, and I think they want me to stay here as well. As soon as something comes to fruition where both of us like where we're at, I'm sure it won't be long before that point where the pen will get to paper. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This worries me a little bit. I would like him to play one more season. That would be my final take on them. I want him to play one more season. I want to see if he can replicate 2.64 goals against and a 910 save percentage. If he can do that, getting into his prime with a rebuilding young Calgary Flames squad, it's not a bad move in my opinion. You know what, how about this? We'll make question of the video right now. What are you guys willing to do? Are you convinced with Dustin Wolf? Sign him to a 5, 6, 7-year deal, doesn't matter. What exact amount do you think that he is going to get? If they believe that he's a starting goalie, he should be able to ask for starting goalie numbers, especially if they buy up unrestricted free agent years. To switch gears here, I want to talk about the center position of the Calgary Flames and why I believe that they should probably hold still and why this quote from Jim Behringer is actually a really good one when it comes to Nazem Kadri. I understand that Kadri's a bit old. I understand all those things. But when it comes to Nazem Kadri, he never really relied on his skating very much. I never looked at Kadri as a burner. He's not the fastest player out there. He almost reminds me kind of like John Tavares a little bit. Not that he's as good as Tavares, but like he's just kind of a player that, skill relies on passing, playmaking, kind of good around the net, not overly fast. He's kind of like similar to him in some ways. So I was like, listen, you might as well just let this guy stick around for the rebuild. Not only that, but he is a gritty player, and hockey fans love that. And when you get rid of that, cough, cough, Leafs, it's very hard to replace that. Let's not forget this. But here we have a very interesting quote. I mean, do I see there's a fit? Yes, I think he's a good fit for the Montreal Canadiens. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because Calgary had 96 points last year. They got as many points as they could without getting into the playoffs. They want to continue to improve, and I don't think, unless it's an offer they can't refuse, Craig Conroy and the Calgary Flames, he's not trading Nazem Kadri. Close quote. Now, I don't know about this because I think a lot of the reason why the Calgary Flames were pretty good last year is because Dustin Wolf was just really good. Like, I actually wonder how exactly will the Calgary Flames perform this season? What if Dustin Wolf takes a step back? What if he is, an 895 save percentage goalie, right? And then that contract might not look good. And as I've said before, it might not be a bad thing for the Flames to have a bad season. Now, I am consistent on this. I am not trying to say that they should be bad. I disagree with that. I don't like losing cultures around teams. I fundamentally don't like that style. But I'm saying, like, hey, bring all your young players in. Bring, Zane Parekh. Bring these guys in. You're going to have Wolf on a second season. Let them play. I don't know if they're going to be that good. And then maybe they'll get lucky in the lottery, if you understand what I mean. And they'll get a certain player, wink, wink, that would be a game-changing player for the Calgary Flames. But guys, I'm going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.